Okay. Let's go. Oh, I gotta clean these glasses off. They're a mess. They're a mess. Boy, everything got blurry really quick. What happened? Oh well, that's okay. How's everybody? Let me see. I think if I look at my one good eye, I can still see as day. The good eye is not good anymore. Oh, this one. Yeah, so now my right eye is a little bit better. That's Damian, David, Strafasi, and Jameson. Yeah, I can still see that. Hey, who's in net? I'm not sure. I've been waiting. I'm going to assume it would be, I don't know. Would you give Tarasov two in a row? Do you want Bob off 2 games in a row? That's why I thought the whole situation was weird that we played Tarasov the last game. Thought we'd play him before. I'm assuming we're not playing Bubba on the back-to-back. We'll probably play Bob tonight, Tarasov against the Devils, which seems a little bit backwards, but it is what it is. As far as says I would give Tarasov tonight, so would I, right? That's what we would assume, but like we've been talking about, Maurice has been unpredictable so far this year. He doesn't seem to be doing, not in a complaint form, except the empty in the net with 3 minutes left. I'm still confused about that. So I don't know. Hey, Mike says we're headed for another loss tonight, guys. You think so? Well, what do we got? If we could get 3 out of 4 points, I'd be okay. We'll see. Philadelphia showed what you got to do right now to beat us. Colin says Samo was on the top line and Swaggy's on the third line. But so is that Lundell? Vincent says, why would I assume that? They gave Tarasov last game so he could play against New Jersey. Well, it seems obvious. Yes, it seems obvious, which is why I'm not so sure, because it also seems obvious to not pull the goalie with 3 minutes left. Like I said, to me, I thought it was obvious to give Bob one of the start, or to give Tarasov one of the starts in the first 3 games. Because then you have Bob sitting 2 out of 3 games, which is a little bit unusual. So it's Bennett with Marchand and Samoskevich. I like that. Idea. Lundell, Lusterine, and Reinhardt. And then that's going to be Samoskevich with Verhaeghe and Boquist. Maybe that might be a good way to even out the scoring a little bit, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely game to see that. Sure. Hopefully Maurice leaves it that way for more than a minute. And then we still got Cunningham, McGree, and Gadjevich. Yeah. Gritty guys to protect Mackey, too. Right. David says, the thing is, Tarasov might be next great goalie, but being a goalie for us is so hard since we dominate long stretches of games, but then give up breakaways. Yeah, no doubt. All right, so then basically you have Lundell. I guess it's so tough, right? Vincent says, Maurice is growing his hair out. Have you noticed? There might be a panic sensors in him. Yeah, I noticed. I did. They showed an overhead shot, and the comb over is from way back, like the comb over is from way back here, and then forward, like it's from way other way. It's like from way back here, man. When it gets like the comb over is okay, like from like the middle to like maybe here, right? To maybe about here. But once you start getting the comb over from about back here, bruh, it's time. So, yeah, happens to the best of us. Maurice isn't that much older than me either. I thought he was a lot older than me, but I guess I'm old. JC says, saw a notice to the city of Detroit residents to expect delays with oh, geez, I just closed out my whole thing. Am I still there? Just saw a notice to the city of Detroit. Residents to expect delays with EMT units and emergency services as they have moved most ambulances to the arena in anticipation of more Panthers injuries. Jeez. Lucas Raymond will not be playing tonight. Yeah, Craig says maybe he's growing it out to influence Cunnin to shave, right? Strafasi, yeah, I thought Balinskis has looked good. He's definitely worked on his skating. Mythical says, what are guys who have the odd shape head and can't pull off the bald look? At that point, the best thing that you can do is go straight back with it and pray for a widow's peak. If you can keep the strip in the middle somewhat strong, you go back with it and pray for the widow's peak in the front. That's what you do if you got that shape head. It is what it is. Well, Maurice could afford the Chuck Schumer treatment and go get some plugs, though. Vincent says, I'm evil. I'm honest. I can say it. I can talk about bald guys. I've done the whole thing. Had the full head of flowing Yager ponytail hair, waited too long to shave it, and shaved it. I can speak from all the experience. David says, or just be a man and not sweat it. Well, it just depends. Yeah, I mean, you can do that too. But shaving it to me is the same. I'd rather have it shaved anyway. It's more comfortable. Greg says, invest in Sharpies and draw it in. Get the spray. Get the spray and just spray it on. Vincent, I know. He's still got the horse flow, man. Son of a bitch. That bastard. Oh, well. It's all good, right? Yeah, you can always get a hair transplant, fly to Turkey. I shaved mine because David says I shave my head but have since the early 20s. Yeah. David says I'll wait until I thin out more and then I'm going to go chrome dome. I shaved mine because I didn't go – my family goes bald, but they go patchy bald. So, like, there'll be some areas even on the top of my head. If I let it grow out, like I have a circle about here, right there. It's still pretty thick, like it always has been. But then back here is gone. Here is gone. Some of it is a little bit here. Like I might have been able to get away with the widow's peak thing going straight back, but it just wasn't. This is so much easier. My God, it's so much easier. I have a skull shaver every other day. I just do the skull shaver, and voila, my hair looks fantastic. Native, my family, the hair thins out, but no patch bald. Oh yeah, once you start realizing, because that's what makes it like I'm a prime example. When you go patchy bald, that's what makes it so that you stay with the hair longer than you should, because like every 2 weeks your hair changes, but you like, okay, maybe if I comb it this way, maybe if I stick it up a little bit, like it elongates the possibility, it elongates thing. Mythical says if you shave the head, it feels like a beard, or at least the mustache. It's a must. Yeah. Turkeys can't fly. Yeah, you think Hair Club for Men would be a sponsor in South Florida, right? Yeah. So it's okay. It's all right. You know what I mean? My dad cursed me. He's 79. At his 60th birthday party, which was a surprise birthday party. So that's 19 years ago. I still had a full of enough head of hair that at his 60th birthday party, he said, I don't think you might not go bald. You might keep all your hair. And it wasn't long after that, he cursed me, the bastard. Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, buddy. Says something to put towards Jaws hair treatment. Yeah, we'll put it towards I buy a new skull shaver every once a year. I buy the new blades and everything for it. It's not expensive. So, It works out. So it's all right. So what do we got tonight? We got the Devils. Vincent says, so it was my dad, then Yager, then Ekblad started laughing at you. Yeah, basically that's the order of it. Yep. That's basically the order of how it went. So 19 years ago, I'd have been, 35. Yeah, at 35, I still had pretty much all my hair, really. For the most part, I had a little thinning spot in the back, but I had worked on that, and it had actually come back in pretty nice. Whatever. I think the lime. I got the lime when I was 39, so that might have had an effect too. Real says you might have scoring trouble, but at least we aren't the Rangers. Yeah, I put out a little video about that earlier. Bruh, did you see Shesterkin's numbers? Yeah, the Rangers broke our record. Yeah. Shesterkin has got a .76 goals against and a .972 save percentage, and the dude is 2-2. Which my point to the video was that if the Rangers figure out how to score, they could be dangerous. Mike. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, Wings tonight, Devils tomorrow. Panthers legend Brandon Bussi won his first NHL game last night. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they do make no sense. Their leading goal scorer is Adam Fox with 3, and then there's a few people with 1, including Rempe, and then that's it. That's it. They really. But I just wonder. I mean, these things will sort themselves out over the course of the season, but I just wonder if Sullivan has instituted some kind of new, he obviously would have, he's a new coach, but if he's instituted like a new system that's heavy on defense, sometimes when you do that with a team, they get so focused on the defense part that they forget how to score goals initially. It sounds like that's what's happened because, I mean, they're not allowing any goals and they're still losing games. I mean, that's back-to-back games. They allowed 3 goals in 2 games, and they lost both games. That's hard to do. Hey, miserable Sabres fan, you're hoping we can win today or else you'll be 4-0. Sorry, man. I feel bad for you guys. Guys, got anybody we could trade? Probably not. Kreider's looking good so far. Vincent says they had a Gavrikov. Yeah, they'll figure it out. To be honest, I mean, I made the video because they beat our record, but I don't like seeing Shesterkin at 972. Like, JC says Rangers have a new pensive system that doesn't allow for third players to normally score. The coach doesn't know how to meet in the middle. Gotcha. Yeah, they do have future Panther Rasmus Dahlin. Yeah, Panarin's like making 11.5, I think, 11 point something. Panarin's in the last year of his deal, though. So you would think he might be going off. You would think that Panarin would have saw what Kaprizov got and said, I need to. How did he do last year? Native says Sullivan's like the fast, aggressive puck movement, forechecks that are supposed to bruise the other team, and a defense that's more structured and less fluid. So far, none of that. Huh. How did Panarin do last year? Because he's one of the guys he's got what did he do last year? Not projected. Why did it give me ESPN first? I never go to ESPN. Come on. Last year, what do you got? 37 goals. 37 goals. Not too shabby. Damn, 89 points for the -9. The year before, he had 120 points, though. Jeez. So he didn't do as well last year, that's for sure. But you would figure that he would be trying, contract year and all. Ruthless says it's been 2 brutal games. We lead, and then in the end, we can't hold a lead, and then we lose. Man, I saw that Nick was streaming that game the other day, 7-6. 7-6, man. God. I mean, it sounds like fun hockey until you watch the highlights, and it's not. It wasn't as much fun as you would have thought a 7-6 game would have been. Real says the sick part of me enjoys seeing the Sabres lose because of how often Buffalo beats the Dolphins. The Dolphins deserve it, though. I don't really think Buffalo fans deserve it. They got to live in Buffalo. I mean, they got to live in Buffalo, right? Like, what percentage of people live in Buffalo that wouldn't want to move from Buffalo if they could financially make it happen, right? So you already got to live in Buffalo because that's where life landed you. And then your football team can't ever win, can't finish, right? And then for your hockey team, just it's rough, man. And then winter comes like the second week of September. You don't see the sun again till like July. Might be a bit hyperbolic, but still. Oh, good question, Hungry. What was the last season there were not good Chucks playing for an extended period of time? That's a good question. Yeah, but the Sharks are building now, right now, right? Hungry says, I'd rather live in Buffalo than New York City. Well, yeah, I will give you that for sure. Yeah. David says 98%. Dark Jedi. This is the slowest season I've ever seen the Lightning play lately. What I'll say, Darth, is that when the Panthers and Lightning did their thing, the two preseason games, I thought it just meant the Panthers weren't very focused. It turns out it might have been the Lightning's not very focused, right? They have not looked good for the most part. I know they won the other day, but they have not looked good. But I would tell you this. I would say, because I've been watching the highlights. I haven't watched the games, I'm not going to front. So, of course, I'm seeing the goals. But 80% of the goals I'm watching, Radish is on the ice and involved with allowing the goal. He's been brutal. Yeah, 20 feet of snow pass, right. Yeah, better Buffalo than New York City. I guess it depends on where in California. But spoiled, right? I've lived in, Miami, Hollywood, Orlando, Virginia, Maryland, and Alaska. That doesn't count some time that I spent in Colorado, Maine, and Georgia. But that I wouldn't count that living there. But I spent some decent amount of time there. JC says it's still 90 plus in Texas, man. So who's my biggest surprise team right now? So actually, that's a good question. I mean, I think the Bruins being 3-1 ain't the end of the, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit surprised there, but where are they? So the Kraken lost finally, but they've been serviceable. And just looking at the standings, seeing the Kraken and the Ducks ahead of the Kings and the Canucks, it's kind of, the Ducks have now won 2 straight. They're scoring goals. So, but nobody's really there's nothing shocking. You know what I mean? The Central Avalanche Stars, the Preds, they lost. But last place is where you would expect, kind of. The Flames being not so good with allowing all those goals. Now, that's a bit of a surprise. What happened to Mr. Hottie Pants there? Their goalie. Let's see. Who have they played, though, too, right? Yeah, the Flames have not exactly had an easy schedule. Oilers, Canucks, Blues, and Golden Knights. It's not exactly an easy schedule there. But they've been giving up a lot of goals. Who? Let me see. They gave up 5 to the Canucks. Who was that? Yeah, Wolf. Woo! Oh my God! Well, Dustin Wolf and that. What his numbers are bad, and that might be the surprise there. I'll be back to the chat in a second. Wolf so far ain't good. He's 1-3 with a 3.77 and an 8.73. I don't know if you know ball or not, or puck, but that ain't good. That ain't good. David says, I lived in Florida, Chicago, Boston, New York City, Texas, and Germany. I really liked it here in Fort Lauderdale, but might try to swing some time in Ireland. Oh, that'd be nice. I would say so far, I'm a little bit torn. My favorite place is either here or Palm Bay. Just depends on my attitude of the day. When it's really cold in the winter, I miss Palm Bay. When it's really hot in the summer, and when it's still hot in February in Palm Bay, I'm glad I'm here. Whoa, they played Wolf back to back. Yikes. Yeah, that's too much. That's right. Wolf doesn't have Vladar backing him up anymore. Yeah, that's right. So who did they get? Who did they get? All right, so he gave a 5 to me. Oh, come on. Stupid. Where's the Flames? All the way down here. So what was the back-to-back? That's the Flames and Oilers. So they beat the Oilers, right, with Wolf playing a good game, and then they played them back-to-back. I see what you're saying. Has he missed? Has any other goalie played? Has any other goalie played for the Flames? I don't think so. 4 games, and the Flames have played 4 games. So no. So they literally haven't yet. They haven't played anybody else. So that's not good. Cooley is Wolf's backup. Mythical says, I love the fishing, the beaches. I love Florida. I need to be near the water. Yeah. My dad sent me some pictures yesterday. Caught some good-sized mackerel and bluefish out at Sebastian. That was good. Good to see him still be able to get out there and go fishing. Yeah, you can't play the poor kid back-to-back, right? Has any goalie ever really played for the Flames? Well, I mean, they've invested in Wolf. That's a shame. Would I play Bob back-to-back? No, I don't think we need to do that. I don't think there's any reason to do that, right? But have they put out the lineups yet? I know they put out the lines, so do we know if it's Bobrovsky tonight? That would be the assumption, right? And then Tarasov tomorrow. And then after that, I'm not necessarily – I really wanted Tarasov to get more games, Bob to get less games. So we go Bob tonight, Tarasov against the Devils, then Bob on Saturday. That's the 1:00 game. And then schedule kind of goes to normal for a little bit, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So maybe we'll sneak Tarasov in one more time. Figure if you play Bob tonight, Tarasov there, Bob against the Sabres, Bruins, Penguins. Do you want to play Tarasov against the Golden Knights? Or maybe the Ducks, the other game. We'll see. Hey, Omega. Yeah, what's the schedule for today? Where's the games? So Utah's playing Flames tonight. Blackhawks, Blues, Senators, Sabres, Panthers, Wings. So the Senators get their first game without Brady against Buffalo. Come on, Buffalo. There's the perfect opportunity, Sabres, to do something. The first game the Senators will be without Brady, man. And then tomorrow's a big set of games. Avalanche, Jackets, Kraken, Senators, Preds, Canadians, Panthers, Devils, Jets, Flyers, Rangers, and Maple Leafs. But that's in Toronto, so they're not playing another home game. Oilers play the Islanders, Canucks and Stars, Hurricanes and Ducks late, Bruins and Golden Knights late, and Penguins and Kings are late. Who gets the first? Oh, who gets the first win? Sabres or Jets? What's the Jets' schedule? I mean, it's gotta be the Sabres, right? The Jets play the Panthers this week. Then they play the Bengals, Browns, the Patriots. It's gotta be the Sabres. Gotta be the Sabres. Zuma says, was arguing with some Canadian hockey fans, and they said, what is happening to the Panthers is karma for being such a dirty team. Okay. But let's just extrapolate and agree with that. Let's, for sake of argument, Kazuma, agree with that. Just for shits and giggles. What fan of what team wouldn't take 2 back-to-back cups and then the team loses some guys due to injury for karma of how they played while they were winning the 2 cups? What NHL fan wouldn't make that trade? You're going to win 2 cups, but then the following year going to have a lot of injuries because you were bad when you won those 2 cups. Like, okay, I'm good. We're good. We'll take the cups. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Come again. Thank you. Come again. Thursday Night Football has a 43-year-old versus a 40-year-old. Good Lord. Uvis is here to stay until April-ish. Wait, what happened, Colin? Did we get something about Kulikov? Classified upper body injury. Wait. Kulikov will miss 5 months. November, December, January, February, March. Kulikov will be back for the playoffs. But you know what? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, let him rest his legs. He's 34 years old. So Bournefoot will be 70. Belinskas has looked good. Boy. Dang it. Thank you, Colin. Do I trust Bournefoot? No, that's Belinskas' job. I wouldn't even worry about it a little bit. Don't forget, Belinskas played. I mean, how many games did he play last year for us? I mean, he's a bottom 6 defenseman. He's not supposed to be Cale Makar. Last year, he played 76 games for us, 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points, and was a -7. He played 15 minutes a night. He only took 27 penalty minutes in 76 games. That's basically 1 penalty every 3 or 4 games. Fine. And he runs the second power play sometimes, right? When he's out there. So, we love Kulikov, don't get me wrong. But by comparison, if you want to just look at production, I know that's not the only thing that matters. Kulikov last year played 70 games, 4 goals, 9 points, 13 points. He was plus 12, 38 penalty minutes. He got like 20 minutes a night. So for sure, Balinskis got less ice time. So I don't think I think Bournefoot will be in if somebody else gets hurt. JC says, yeah, karma for going to 3 straight finals in most hockey of any team. Right. Yeah, exactly. They're delusional. Oh, no, we're having a down year after we made 3 finals and won 2 cups. I'm so miserable. Thank you, Real. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Fatality says, hey, Jaws, say Blackhawks been playing great lately. We missed the playoffs, but slowly get better. I agree. You guys look pretty good out there. When we played you, you held your own. Absolutely. I think, as long as goaltending holds up. Craig says the Cats are resting guys for the playoffs is another way to look at it. Very true. Very, 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 very true. I agree, Shafasi. Yeah. One of them replied they'd rather win clean. Yeah, okay. Okay, right. Yeah, so he should be back around March, April, right? Yeah, Darth, you guys are having, everybody got the injuries, but it's so early in the season. You know what I mean? David says, yeah, we're 3-1 after 4 games. I know, right? Looks like Carter. Yeah, I thought that was the thing. I'd seen that as a rumor last week about Carter Hart signing with Vegas. Hungry. Yeah, you saw his first game in person. Yeah, he's 34, man. Hey, Universal Habs. Do I trust Bournefoot? Thank you, Colin. Bob's in net tonight. What's Craig saying? Because I think it's about Bournefoot. Bournefoot will still get some ice time, especially with an older guy like Petrie. Yeah. So what I'll say about Bournefoot is I trust the Panthers scouting process. Now, we've had opportunities to move on from him, but they still see something in him, I do believe. When he has played well, he's played well. The problem for Bournefoot has been consistency. So he's a young guy that we got no reason to not try to develop him. He's, you know what I mean? He goes out there if you need somebody to fill in. It's not like we suddenly got Jakob Kindle out there or somebody, there's times in the NHL season guys get hurt where you just need a body out there that's played in the NHL that won't completely disrupt your lineup. And he's still got some upside. So I trust the Panthers scouts that they still see enough in him to keep working with him. He's really young. What is he? He's 24. You know what I mean? He's only 24. He's got good size to him. And it's not like he's been terrible. It's just he's not been real consistent. So I think we'll be fine. I don't think there's any worries that way. Now we have the cap space to get Cale Makar, right? So yeah, Fatality. I think the Blackhawks will slowly get better. They got to. I think it's a mentality thing. Like you think at some point the players have to switch from the mentality of we're building and it's okay that we're finishing last place to they have to start having a little bit more expectations, right? I think there's been 2-3 years. How many years, Bedard? Is this his 3rd year, I believe? So I think there's got to be more. They got to start building some internal expectations in the locker room of, hey, maybe we're not going to be the best team in the league, but maybe make it a goal to move up to the out of the bottom third. You know what I mean? Just make it a goal to have some progress of where they're going to finish. Because you're not going to get a ton of outside pressure right now because, Bedard's young and they still don't have the right, nobody expects the Blackhawks to be all that good. But those expectations have to start changing internally. David says Swaggy owes us a couple of goals tonight. Last game is worse than a while. Yeah, he did have a couple of bad turnovers. That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly, JC. Real says if you're winning, you're not clean, right? Hey, Fisherman. Yeah, predictions for tonight's game. If Bob's in net, I think we'll come back and play. To be honest, I'm not going to say the word. I'll put it this way. I don't know how much lifting I'm going to have to do on the stream tonight. That's what I'll say. I don't suppose that this team is going to start the year with 2 bad road games in a row. If they do, then you might want to start looking around the room and wondering, hey, who's not playing the Barkov and Kachuk role here in terms of leadership. So I expect a clean, crisp game tonight where they play the system as close to perfection as possible. Vincent says, on a side note, a few days ago, Lucas Carlson was on waivers. Panthers really don't like him. I don't know what happened to that kid. I mean, that was I think it was the President's Trophy season. Like, he has had so many opportunities with so many teams. Did San Jose pick him up, or is he on waivers from San Jose? So he was a 4th-round pick of Chicago in 2016. He's 28 now. He's not that small. 6'0", 190. I mean, Bornfoot is 6'0", 200. So some muscle there. But he played 40 games with the Panthers in the President's Trophy season, had 9 points, was a +3. He only took 10 penalty minutes. And since then, he only played 2 with Florida a couple of years ago, and then 13 with San Jose, I guess, last year. And, 4 points. I mean, so he's just not been able to grab a hold of a spot anywhere he's gone. But he's had his opportunities, that's for sure. Hey, I appreciate that, Kazuma. That's Calder Cup runner-up. Tobias Bornfoot. Show some respect. Am I interested in trading Derrick Henry in fantasy football? I don't think so, Colin, because my guys haven't worked out at all. I'm in rough shape. Like, all I got is Henry and Pacheco. I don't have anybody. I took some backup running backs in case guys got injured. Like, I have Saquon Barkley's backup. I got Derrick Henry's backup. And nobody's gotten hurt. So my running back situation is Henry, Pacheco, and Ollie Gordon, who's pretty much useless at this point. I know Henry's not been doing well, but he's at least keeping me. I think I'm 4-2. Andre says, think we might be picking up someone on waivers to fill out the defensive gap until he comes back. If we pick up anybody, it would just be to take Bornfoot's spot in the AHL, I would think. David says, funny thing happened last week. Elon rocket flew over us, and like 6 of my guys called in about a UFO. That's funny. Hey, Fireborn says, we won against the Flames. Hopefully this is us. Hopefully we are waking up since we lost a couple of games. Vegas will be fine. Vegas reminds me of how Tampa had been while they were winning cups. These teams, the same thing goes with the Panthers. Once you get to a certain level of being good and your players are comfortable and confident that they know when they turn it on, they can put some points in the bank, you get some uneven performances. You know what I mean? Not everybody can start off super hot. Craig's got 4-2 Cats. Would I add another defenseman? No, I'm fine right now. I mean, if somebody goes on waivers that we could stash. Sure, but Petrie so far has looked decent. Fishman says, I'm happy Matthew Schaefer got his first goal, but we have to win a game. I know. You guys had some hopes too. I seen some people thinking the Islanders might be able to make some noise, but the Isles are one of those teams that kind of hung on. They hung on a little bit too long as the team got a little bit older, and they haven't really done a whole tear down rebuild. They've just consistently tried to like a little change in the retooling, and in the Atlantic that's tough, man, because you just the Metros, you would think they could have put something together to compete in the Metro though. There you go, Eyes. He was a Coach Q guy. Gotcha, Strafasi. Yeah. Oh, the whole time you've been thinking we were playing New Jersey tonight. I says Lucas Carlson is the NHL version of MLB quadruple A player. He's good in the minors, but not in the majors. Yeah. Dark Charge says the game the Penguins versus the Ducks was hard to watch. Had to lead, then we lost in overtime. Literally aging. It's time to get younger. That's the other team that's done it. But it's hard, man. Like for Pittsburgh, and look, I mean, my Panthers might end up in the same situation at some point here, right? What was it that Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, 20 seasons? Is that right? I seen a meme that they had. It was 20 seasons. So, hey, Bill, how you doing from Finland? It's tough. Like, when do you make that call? Exactly. Hungry says not wanting to let go of Crosby is understandable. Right. Yeah, it's like when do you make that call? And who's going to call Crosby and Malkin into the locker room or into the coach's office and say, hey, we're gonna trade you guys for assets so we can start over? Like who's doing that? And that's what I mean when I say the Panthers could eventually end up in the same spot. Like, is Zito gonna call like Barkov and Kachuk and Bennett into the office? Reinhardt, like all four of them is like, you guys are 35. It's been nice. We got 4 cups, but deuces. I got first round picks for all of you guys. Get out of here. Like, who's doing it? That's rough. Bill Belichick would. That's the dude that would do it. Bill Belichick could do it. Bill Belichick would trade Barkov now. Bill Belichick would be like, he busted his knee. He's going to be 30. We got 2 cups. Nice knowing you, Sasha. Bill Belichick would trade Barkov while he's hurt, even though it's not legal. Bill, you're starting to miss Sordiff. How's he doing? Is he playing? Oh, no, David. Colby, you're talking about Lucas Carlson? Yeah. Real says, I think Zito would do it. He got rid of Huberdeau, no problem. I don't know, man. We didn't win anything with Huberdeau. You know what I mean? You got to figure Barkov, Ekblad, those guys aren't going. They're Panthers for life, at the very least. Now, would we at some point later on move on from like a Verhaeghe, a Reinhardt? You could see that being a maybe. Bennett, I think, could be too valuable at 4C as he gets older. Diehard Red Wings says, "Hey Jaws, with the wins we had against the Maple Leafs, never count us out. This has to be the year we make the playoffs, right?" It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. When you look at the Atlantic, forget the Metro. Just forget the Metro. Assuming you gotta, obviously Panthers, and Leafs. The Leafs aren't missing the playoffs. Now, does anybody think Lightning's really going to miss the playoffs? But let's even discount the Lightning just for the half a second. Canadians are definitely picking up where they left off, right? Ottawa being out, there's the opportunity for a team like Detroit, maybe Boston. Ottawa missing Tkachuk, that's where the chance is. And then when you look over at the Metro, you're going to assume the Hurricanes, Capitals, and Devils, which is how it's already laid out, right? If the Rangers could score any goals, I wouldn't completely discount them because the goaltending is absurd. I don't think Flyers, Jackets, Isles, it's going to be tough. But the Wings, yeah, but they got to make a move now. If you're Detroit, if you're Boston, Montreal, those teams, you put the pedal to the metal now while Tkachuk is out and try to gain some ground between them. Belichick stock falling faster than Bitcoin, right? This says, what do I mean 5? After 5, it's McDavid on a cheap deal, so there's more. Did I say we only won 5? My bad, Vincent. So Sordiff is playing on the 4th line for the Caps. Okay, that's good. He's got 0 points in 4 games. He's saving his first game for the first goal for the game against Florida. That's about right, Eyes. That's about right. Talbot's in net for Detroit. Yeah, Gibson didn't. Oh yeah, David. Bob's retiring as a Panther for sure. I would agree there. Hey, communist. Right? Yeah. What was the deal? I think I missed this. I saw something about it, but I didn't read it. Right, here it is. Yeah, it was 8 years. Well, but it reminds me of the Barkov, not the Barkov, the Ekblad. So what do you get? 8.85? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Ekblad deal when he was younger, got the 7.5, because it allows him, he's only 21, right? So he got paid, and then when it comes up again, he's still only going to be 29. He get paid again. So I think that has something to do with it, communist. I mean, I understand it. I completely agree with your theory there, but the fact that he's so young to get that deal now, with having the ability to get another deal, but still, that's still to think they got him for less than Bouchard, right? Exactly. Yeah, risky. Kulikov missing 5 months. Yep. Capitals, you should. Yeah, I'm counting the Capitals in. When I'm looking at the Metro, I'm counting Hurricanes, Capitals, and Devils as the top 3. I'm just assuming that. Oh, Markstrom's out for a couple of weeks. I saw that injury. Hey, Mike, is Nashville the team this year that they were supposed to be last year? Well, they lost not so great last night. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I think they may not be as bad as they were last year, but when you look at who they've played, come on, load me up, load the page. Here we go. We had talked about this a little bit yesterday. They beat the Jackets 2-1. They lost to Utah in overtime 3-2. They beat the Sens, which was pretty decent, but we kicked the Sens' ass too. And then the Maple Leafs got 7 on them last night. I don't know how many of those were empty net. 2. Looks like 2 of them were empty net, but it still wasn't good. So they let me see who's scoring goals for Nashville. Eric Hall is still playing. Roman Josi, McCarron. I just don't know about their defense right now, Nashville. Colby says Bobrovsky's 15-2-1 against Detroit as a Panther with a 9.39 and a 1.5 goals against. Yikes. Chris, as far as we know, they're saying it's upper body. We think it's his wrist, but I suppose it could be his shoulder too. But Maurice, the exact injury as of right now, I don't think it's been released. Yeah, 885 for 8 years is pretty good. Mike says a lot of people predicted the Predators to be good last year with all the pickups they had during the offseason. Yeah, I understand what they tried to do, right? They were building, and they thought if they just added these veteran guys that it would stack on top of itself, and it just didn't work out. It's just really, it's hard to look at. Not hard to look at, but it's like you had to have drop off from all of them at once, and it's what they had. It's just weird. Hey, Frank. It's game 3 burnout. Well, we lost, Frank. The parade is already canceled. Midnight says we play the Avalanche tomorrow, so it'll be rough, but hopefully you can put in an effort. Yeah, you guys came so close last year. Everybody was rooting for it. Every day, that's all I hear from Kyle is he hopes the Jackets make the playoffs. So the East is just going to be blood sport towards the end of the season. And now this injury to Tkachuk, to Brady, that's going to bring everything even tighter because Ottawa's going to have a hard time keeping things up. Jameson said it's his wrist. Okay. Well, then there you go. That's what we kind of thought, but that confirms it. Colby, I have not, brother. Not out of anything other than just, running out of time making content, but I have not. Boy, it got warm. It's 70 degrees outside. Yesterday, we got the sun. You see how I can complain about it no matter what, right? Yesterday, 56, but cloudy. But I want 56 and sunny. It's 70 degrees in here. I'm sweating. Bill says Eastern Conference is wide open. Panthers could win the whole thing without Barkov and Chucky. Panther system is the gold standard. They just keep chugging along. Mike, you think Nashville's major problem is their coach? Interesting. I can't necessarily say I could disagree. Batherson is coming back. Hey, Russell Bleed. Say the Blues will be good since we beat the Canucks, and plus you trust Montgomery. The Blues are the team I picked in my season prediction. They're the only new playoff team I predicted at all. I left everybody the same in the East, and in the West, I sent the Wild out and put the Blues in. So if you guys missed, you can blame me. You can blame me. It'd be my fault. Now, and then when you look, like I've been saying, when you look over in the West, like Blackhawks sitting there already, near the bottom, you hate to see it. You'd like to see them get into the conversation of what Eastern Conference team, sort of like, I don't want to say like the Islanders, like the Jackets. Like if the Blackhawks could get to the level of the Jackets where they used to be terrible, but now there's at least some brand of expectation of them being at least decent. At some point, that switch has to happen for Chicago. I don't know what Calgary is going to do, man. They're going to run that poor kid into the ground. And then San Jose has allowed 16 goals in 3 games. 16. That's I don't know if you guys can do math or not, but they're averaging allowing more than 5 goals a game. is not good. It's not good. Come on, San Jose. You guys got to do better than that, man. Is Bruno coaching under the influence now? He always looks out of it. He's got that look to him, I think. Hey, Emperor King. King's been playing asleep lately. Well, a little bit. A little bit. I mean, I picked them to stay in, right? I picked them to stay in. They'll be fine. It's early. It's early. You got to straighten up the defense. You know, it ain't much better there when you look at the – boy, you look at the teams in the Pacific, man. Is anybody going to play some defense in the Pacific? Jeez. The Kraken's playing defense, and the Oilers are playing. The Oilers are really playing good defense right now. Skinner gets a shutout. The Kings will move on. They'll be fine. They got nothing to worry about. It's going. I mean, in whatever order, it's going to be Knights, Oilers, Kings. I don't think there's anybody in that division that's really going to take one of those spots. Kraken's not going to do it. Ducks not going to do it. The Canucks. I might have picked Calgary before the season, but if Wolf has to be, he's got to be superb if they're going to have that chance. Dallas. But Dallas is in the Central. I'm talking Pacific. Dallas is in the Central. I'm talking Pacific. Zoom says, I don't know if we win tonight, but we might. But I hope we just play better than the other night, right? German Canucks says, as a Canucks fan, there's time we play good and then we don't. We do have the pressure to make the playoffs. And that's true. That's true. The Canucks were close. It's hard to be, and that's what pisses everybody off about the Panthers. It's hard to be I don't want to say Vancouver was a bubble team, but technically they kind of were. It's hard to be a bubble team for a long period of time. Like the Islanders, for a number of years, once they stopped really being good, they were still like that bubble team. It was like, oh, yeah, the Islanders also, yeah, they're the 8th seeds. Like you just expected it. That's hard to maintain and sustain because you're not getting the draft picks, right? You're not getting top 10, top 12 draft picks. You're not moving players at the trade deadline because you're still in the discussion for the playoffs. So you're not moving guys. You're not getting those assets. And every offseason, when you're looking at your roster, when you're stuck in the middle like that, you kind of, when you're evaluating what you're going to go fix, it's like, well, if this guy can plug that hole and this guy can plug that hole and everybody else stays just as good as they've been, then maybe we can, be just as good. It's almost like you end up in a position where you're just replacing things and moving pieces and parts to just stay, 95 points. Maybe we'll get the 8th seed. Maybe we won't. It's hard to take that next step without getting into a position where, you've had 3 or 4 bad years, but then you're drafting a Barkov and a Huberdeau and a Ekblad, you know what I mean? And it, without being able to do that with the salary cap, it's hard to maintain that level. And eventually where it ends up is you stick with players for a little bit too long. And as they start to regress, well, now they're not really worth much. So when you get to move on from them, you're not getting any decent assets in return. And it's hard. Eventually everybody has to hit the floor and have a rebuild. Risky says Barkov's injury is starting to show in the first line's plus-minus stats. Bennett now has the worst plus-minus in the entire NHL. So no doubt, and there's the thing, Risky, for me in my world, wherever Lundell is, that's the top line. What's the time on ice? What's the time on ice? Because that genuinely is going to tell us. So Lundell is averaging 17, 16 a night. 61% in the faceoff circle with a 15% shot percentage. That, in theory, with 2 goals and 2 assists, he's got a point a game, playing 17 minutes a night. Now, in theory, that's the numbers in the production with that 61% that should replace Barkov. Not, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In theory, production-wise. So then when you go to Bennett, and this is what we talked about all the way at the beginning, was face-off percentages and missing Barkov that way. Bennett is playing more minutes. So he's at 1831, but he's a -8. He's got 43% in the face-off circle, and his shot percentage is half of Lundell's. So to me, Lundell should be, to me, by all measurements, Lundell's line should be considered 1. I know that Bennett was 2 and Lundell was 3, but these numbers, it's not close, and it's not going to be close. If you look at Lundell and Bennett's numbers last year in terms of face-off percentage, defensive metrics, it's not close. It really should be Lundell getting that extra minute and a half. So, because Communist said, or Barkov seems to make everyone play up to their level. Remember a year or 2 ago when he came back from injury and it seemed like the entire team got up to play? Man, it's definitely, but Lundell was playing at a level I was hoping for. Right, yeah, Lundell is good. We're looking good with Lundell. Rodriguez has also been good. It's not up to Lundell's level for what we're used to at 3C. But Rodriguez is getting 15 minutes a night, 15:48, almost 16 minutes a night. His face-offs are down a little bit. They were at like 46%. Now it's at like 42. The draws are going to be tough. So with Bennett, if he's losing defensive zone draws, other teams getting opportunities that way, I don't think it's necessarily a huge problem if Barkov comes back. But certainly if we know Barkov isn't going to come back, you're going to need to find some way to compensate for the dip in face-off percentage. You don't think the Panthers have beat the Canucks in 3 years? We usually don't play well against them at all. Deadly Flames. Look at the Flames, the amount of times we missed, 1-3 right now. Yeah, it just, you guys got to hope you don't do. I mean, Wolf is young, but playing him every game, playing them back-to-backs, that may not work out. You know what I mean? Bennett and Verhaeghe are too fast for each other. Interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way. Huh. All right, everybody, I got to roll. Appreciate everybody joining me. Members only. Don't forget, if you're a member on this channel, 1/2 hour before each Panther games, I do a members podcast, members stream right here, and then Kyle picks it up 7 o'clock. So I believe tonight is 7 o'clock, right? Tonight is 7 o'clock, so I will be live over here at 6:30 for the members, and then we shall see you then. So appreciate all of the support. I put out a video about the Rangers breaking the Panthers' futility record in terms of starting out 0-3 at home with 3 straight shutouts. So check that out. Give it a share. Give it some love. Give it a comment. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. And I shall see you in a few hours.